Hey everybody, Jim here, and today I'm coming at you again with another Saplicity video. Today I want to talk to you about the idea of using a recording to create plant extensions. A lot of vendors out there will sell you software that you can use to create recordings, and when you're creating the recording, you'll go through the different tabs and populate the fields in order to add those fields to the recording, and then at the end, potentially click save or just hit enter when it asks if you want to save. And that'll kind of work, but the problem arises when you get to a particular tab to enter in data and the field doesn't exist on the screen because that tab isn't ticked. This can happen because different material types have different views available, or because a particular view already exists in a material master, and when you go through MMO1 and you tick all of these views, the ones that already exist in that plant won't appear when you're just pressing enter and going through them. In that case, the recording will fail again. Saplicity, specifically the VBA that handles the plant extensions for Saplicity, does this a little differently. So in Saplicity, you would include a pstat value here that you want the plant extension to have at the end of the load. Here's a convenient list of plant-related pstat values that you can add, and you can just concat them into this pstat field, and when the program is running, it will tick these views based upon the letters in this pstat column. If the view doesn't exist because the material type that's being updated doesn't have that view, then it won't cause an error. That view simply won't be ticked, and when it's pressing enter at the end of each screen in order to move on to the next tab, the VBA code goes through these headers, and if that header is on the screen, then it populates, but if the header is not on the screen, well, then it's simply not populated, and then it goes on to the next screen. If one of these column headers isn't a field at any point during the load of the Material Master plant extension, you won't get an error. You'll still get the plant extension, and if the view already exists, then it won't be touched. It'll simply be left alone. To populate all of these columns, and there are 60 plus for the tables MARC, MARD, and MBEW, I've put together a snippet of code that I run off of the SLT server, and in this case I used this particular code for the purpose of extracting Material Master plant extensions from the client's production server such that I could load them into a sandbox. Normally in a case like this, I might try to push the Material Masters completely from one server to the next using ALE, but currently the ALE connector is down between the client's production server and the sandbox, and rather than tell the users that need those Material Masters for the purpose of testing that they can't have those Material Masters, I wrote this tool and this snippet of SQL code and did the loads myself in an automated fashion using Saplicity's VBA plant extension tool. Well, today I want to talk about the idea of doing a copy from. Currently, in the Excel spreadsheet, there's only a column for the target Matner, the target VIX, and the target storage location. But now I want to add another column for from Matner, from VIX, and from Elgort. And that way, when I'm running this code, I don't need to populate all of these columns, these 64 columns, with data, because it'll copy the data from a plant extension that already exists in the system. Let's go through it. I'm just going to recycle this plant extend tool. In fact, I'm going to save it now. Great. Let's go into the code. So the first thing we'll want to do is find out where it is preparing to put in the Matner, because we're going to want to include the from Matner as well. Here. All right. Let's add another string. And just for cleanliness, I'm going to put this down here in the next line. Great. All right, so I'm going to enrich this code with what I need in order to prepare the from Matner, from VIX, and from Elgort. In the spreadsheet, from Matner is column F, and then G for VIX, H for Elgort. All right, that's easy enough. All right, that'll work fine for that. And I'll just recycle this code. Perfect. So now when I call this open material, I need to pass additionally another string Matner, the string from Matner. And for cleanliness, I'm going to put it after the pstat. So the to data will be on the left of pstat, and the from data will remain on the right of pstat. All right. Let's edit this function now. And then we'll come back and edit this step so we include two more fields on the org view level. All right, let's fix this up here. There we go. And I'm going to set a breakpoint right here. Yeah, that's great. And another one here. Okay. When I get down to this point, it'll be ready, and I'll be able to look in the debugger to see what the name of the or reference material number is. All right, so I'm going to start the debugger, and I'll be right back with you. While I'm thinking about it, let me put in some test data. Well, great. I've got a from material master number, a plant, a storage location, and then a reference material master, which is the same one in the same type of plant with the same warehouse location. Additionally, I've got a purchasing view, a storage location, a sales view, MRP, and costing, and so on. Let's get this show on the road. I'll be with you in the bugger in just a second. Okay, great. Let's get into this. It's going to populate the T code up here in the OK code field, and then press the enter button, which is this one here. Great. It's not, yeah, there's the create material initial screen. Great. I don't want to wait, so I'm just F5 past that. Perfect. So now it's going to populate this material number, and rather than hit the button here, I'm going to tell it to hit the Select Views button. Now the Select View button here is on another toolbar, and it's button number 5. So I don't want this one, I want this one. Great. Great. All right. I also want to find this field right here. I need the ID because I'm going to do a find by ID and then populate it with the from material master number, which should be, yeah, perfect. Well, let's look at that and see if we can find it. All right, in the user area, there are a handful of fields. This is probably going to be the very last one here at the end, the reference material. All right. I think I need to there. Tell you what, I'm going to copy this and add a new line right under it. Copy this. And this will be string from Matna. Great. Let's see what happens. F8, there's that one. F8 again. Great. Now it's going to click the Select Views button. Let's see what happens now. Oh, it's telling me that it's already made good. Thank you. Yep. Great. Let's have a look at the views and get them ticked. I'm going to slide this over a little so everyone can see what's happening here. All right. So it's going to step through. Yep, yep. So here is where it goes through and it ticks all of the views, and then it's going to come back to here. All right. I'm going to F5 and go right ahead to the point where it goes into select orgs. Great. So here in the organization levels, you have your plant and your storage location. That's the 2 and 2, and then you have the from and from. These are the reference plant and reference storage location. Let's look in the debugger and see if we can find these two fields. Actually, I think I can skip the debugger because I'm stepping through the children in this user area of window 1. That's this window, and where the name of the object, if it's changeable, will be populated with the appropriate value. Yep, yep, okay. So let's have a look at what these are. Hmm, hmm. No, I don't want to do that. I want to look into the field. And I'll tell you why. I know that if I hit F1 here and then look at the details of this field, when I go to populate it afterwards, the code will throw an error. This will technically work. And in fact, what I'm going to do is go ahead and do that. We'll do F1, reference plant, and the name, the field name, the screen field, that's it right there. And we can verify this in the debugger. So let's go through here. We'll copy this. And we'll use this to populate the reference plant. Very nice. All right. And what we'll do is we'll just peek in here and see what these actually are. So from what I know of SAP, these are, I think, going to be in order this way. So this should be pretty close to the middle. Okay, so here's what's happened. Because I moved away from this screen with the F1 button, and then again looked deeper into the details of the field, this object has lost all of its value in this debugger, in VBA. So what I'll have to do is go through the code again, and I'll show you what happens when you step through this, and you have this. Watch this. There it is. Now it's going to try to set the text to plant. Oh, it did work. Great. Well, that's most unfortunate. Maybe I have to just copy it again. Oh, great. It did come back. Nice. All right. There's sales org. That's a label. And the reason I choose to look for the object child changeable is because the name of the field will be the same for the label. In this case, you can see that this is a type GUI label, and you can't change that. Okay, here's reference plant, and the name of this is, sure enough, just like in the F1 pop-up, our mmg1 underscore ref-works. Great. All right, so let's see. So it's gotten to plant, and we'll just step through the code. There's the storage location. Let's see if it'll populate. Let's see if it'll populate the from the reference plant and reference storage location as well. There it is. Yep. Yep. Great. So I'm going to F5 to this point, and hidden here on this window is a toolbar, and it may be this one. I don't know. But I'm going to click button 0, and that'll move us on to the next screen. Perfect. So now it's gone into this next screen, and what happens is the system will go through and from these yellow fields pull open these column headers, and then when the field matches the field in each tab, it will populate it with that value. But let me stop this, and I'm going to make some changes to this spreadsheet, and I'll explain them as I go. So just for safety, I'm going to change the color to a nice gray. And I just want the headers. There, now they match the other fields. And all of these yellow ones can be used, but I don't want to pull any data from them except for MMSTA. I'll explain why in a moment. The plant-specific status of the material master with this client's SAP customizations cannot be changed to status 4 or active until it is either costed through an automatic costing run or through some manual costing, or if it's non-valuated stock in that plant, then it can be set to status 4. When I'm creating these, I know that in this plant, this material is valuated stock, so I'm going to set it to status 2 for now. Another customization, same customization actually, forbids a blank plant-specific status. So now it's going to populate all of the fields through those first 3 screens that we saw just now in the demonstration. And then as it's stepping through the individual tabs that were selected in the views, it's going to be looking for all of these field names where there is a field name and populating the field as it comes up. In this case, when it gets to the sales general view, the MRP, and a handful of other views where this plant-specific status is stored, it's going to plug in a 2 instead of the 4 that is in plant 8H20 and would cause an error. Let me save this. Control S. Yep. Well, hey, I sure learned a lot making this video, and I hope you did too. And if you're using the Saplicity tools in order to effect changes in SAP, please consider giving this video a like and sharing the website with your friends. The more people who know about this, the better. Again, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.